It's perfect.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to the January 2026 meeting of the Mount Shasta Stargazers. Uh, we're, we weren't able to meet at the library tonight because the light bulb and the projector needed replacing and they had to order one. So I thought it'd be best just to go ahead and conduct the meeting via Zoom. And I was hoping for a bigger turnout, but uh, it is what it is. Okay, so for tonight, we'll talk about the different activities that we did last month, upcoming events for 2026, and the main subject I want to talk about, the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary, and then we'll open up to member discussions. Okay, we'll start with an activity report. Megan Laurenti, director of the North Medford High School Planetarium, ventured out to the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary for a night of observing. She
We
kindly
can't hear it.
invited.
It's too low.
Okay, let me.
We went out on the night of December 13th, 2025. As the sun went down, the air went from a
Uh,
warm 64 degrees to, later, a chilly 19 degrees. We were mostly on the lookout for the Geminid meteor shower and were not disappointed. By the time it got dark, we were seeing a shooting star every 20 seconds or so. It was wild! Though I expected to see most of them towards Gemini East, most of the really good ones were towards the west, right over Mount Shasta. What a view! While we were watching, we had the Sea Star out capturing some images and my Canon A6000 to snap some shots of Shasta, novice here. For the Sea Star, we were able to shoot Triangulum Galaxy, Pac-Man Nebula, and our always favorite Orion Nebula. A beautiful but cold night. Megan Laurenti.
And here's her.
Wow.
After seeing the results from Megan, there might be some here who are thinking what great pictures they could be getting if only they had a C Star S50. If that happens to be you, please contact me after the meeting. Okay, and here's 3i Atlas. At around 14th magnitude, the comet was approximately 1.86 astronomical units from the Earth as it departs our neighborhood. Its closest approach to our planet was on December 19th, 2025. By all scientific accounts, its behavior remains typical of a comet. Events. You may recall the great news we had last month with the announcement that North Medford High School was initiating a public program at their planetarium on the first Wednesday of each month. The public reaction to this announcement was phenomenal. All seats have sold out through June 2026. Historically, the planetarium was shut down during the months associated with school breaks. I'm not sure when the next batch of tickets will open up for sale. So that's kind of amazing. This is something new that Megan Laurenti was starting this year, and yeah, just the response was just amazing. So hopefully she'll be able to make arrangements to keep it open through the summer and into the new school year in September, because it's a great program for those of you who've been there. Okay, so here are some of the events that we can look forward to in 2026. 13 January, Winter Dark Sky Tour Siskiyou Land Trust with Barbara Paulson. I plan on being there with the telescope to provide the attendees
If I
with
can
views
make
of
it.
Jupiter and its moons. Keep in mind that registration is required. There were ample spots available early this morning, 11 to 15 July. Golden State Star Party registration opens mid-January. I highly recommend attending the GSSP. One will have the opportunity to look through many different telescopes, compare notes with other avid amateur astronomers, and see the latest hardware available to us. 12 to 13 August. Perseids meteor shower peak corresponds with new moon. More on this later. 19 September. International Observe the Moon Night. Mark your calendars for this event. Our club did a great job last year, and I hope to see even more participation this year. TBD, Hat Creek Radio Observatory Tour. I am thinking of the spring for a visit. TBD, North Medford High School Planetarium. We will have to work around the director's schedule, but I am hopeful for a program either in late summer or early fall. And here's the announcement from the website for the Winter Dark Sky Tour, which is a week from today. And as I said, I'm planning on being out there to set up the telescope because the emphasis is on Jupiter and its moons. So I want to be able to help out and show the attendees Jupiter and the moons.
Where is it going to be?
What's typically off of Highway 97. She won't announce the exact spot until just before the event.
They were talking about Shastina.
Shastina?
Yeah, that was for tonight, if it were to be held tonight. So that was the last I heard. Would that be on 97?
Oh, that's close to,
Close enough.
yeah. Yeah, it's off of 97
Mhm.
towards Big Springs, but yeah, that's all kind of in the same neighborhood. So, I mean, it's going to be chilly. Like I said, there was, I think, over 20 spots available still this morning. So, the cold may be keeping people from signing up, but I don't know. If Barbara wants to go out there and put it on, I'm going to support her and
Yeah,
have a telescope.
she's so good.
Oh,
She
oh, she is.
she's just an enthusiastic.
Yeah, no, it's definitely,
It's
she's got it.
definitely catching.
Yep. Okay, now this one here, yeah, I wanted to talk about our observing site uh, and kind of bring it into perspective that we've got truly a treasure out there available to us, and I don't think we're utilizing it to its full potential. Uh, According to the Dark Sky website, it measures Bortle 2.2. The last few times I've been out there, it's actually a little bit brighter. I've been measuring, taking actual dark sky measurements with a meter and kind of keeping a log of how it's changing. But it's yeah, because you get exceptional dark skies with the structured Milky Way, and we should be able to see the zodiacal light come the spring. And I think one of the draws for us is that it's a superior site to many of the other observing sites that other clubs have available in California and the eastern sites. But more importantly, it's relatively conveniently located near I-5. It doesn't take you long to get from Mount Shasta to the observing site, and we got these beautiful sites there. If you can see here, does my mouse show up on the? Do you see my mouse on the screen? No.
I don't see the mouse, no.
Okay. Well, the one you see to the right where it says Black Rock, Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually in the state of Nevada there, and the one to the left of it is actually in Oregon. So if you look at California sites, are kind of there in the gray, and then the blue dot that's a little bit further to the left. That's our the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary.
Oh,
Right
okay.
there.
I see it.
And just to the left of that, that's Mount Shasta and Weed.
Yeah.
And then up a little bit is Wairika, and then that the kind of reddish spot, that's Medford, Oregon. And then to the right of that is Klamath Falls. So, but we're right here in a big Portal 2 area that you have to go all the way to Nevada to find darker skies. So I think we're blessed with the location that we have.
Probably my favorite thing about that site, John, is the view to the southern horizon. There are not many places around here that you can go and you can see almost down to the horizon in the south. And there are constellations normally not visible to us that you can actually see peeking up above the horizon in the south.
Right, especially if you catch them to the southeast before the sky glow from Redding starts to interfere.
Yeah, right.
But still, right. It's well, those who have been there, I think many of us have witnessed the Milky Way from horizon to horizon, and there's not very many places in near big cities that you're going to find that. So to kind of put it into what other clubs have amongst the nation is that's one of the most accessible dark sky sites in the western U.S. and far better than most populated areas that you can see from this chart here. The chart on the left, you show an image of the lights at night, and then to the right is the dark sky website that shows the actual different Bortle scales. And this is kind of an enlargement here. that kind of pink reddish dot in the center, again, that's Black Rock, Nevada. So you really got to go all the way to northern Nevada to get into the Bortle 1 regions. And then to the left of that is the Bortle 2, that kind of a brownish contour there. And of course, then the blue dot is our site. And kind of the disappointment that I have is we haven't had a whole lot of club turnout to taking advantage of that site, and the attendance has been low. But I think talking to different club members, we got to admit that our demographic, we've got a lot of older members who aren't comfortable with going out in the dark areas at night, and that's completely understandable. And that area is still a rugged area, with a lot of scattered wood debris, and if you're not careful, you can trip over a piece of wood or something. So if you're really not steady on your feet, that's not a good place to go observing. And that's a reality that we need to acknowledge and kind of think what else can we do with it. And last year at one of the star parties, a young couple showed up from the Bay Area. They had found our website that announced the star party, and they contacted Jim, and he gave them directions to get out there. And they showed up, and they had a wonderful time. They witnessed the Milky Way from horizon to horizon. But one of the takeaways that night is that we had a really nice bright meteor go across the sky, and the young lady, she exclaimed, that she had never seen a meteor before. And I thought, well, that's great. This is this is what it's all about. And later on, during the drive home, I kind of got a sense of a sadness. And here she is, 20 years old, and had never seen a meteor before. And that's one of the pitfalls of living in a large city where you have a lot of sky pollution where you can't see the sky.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
So a long time ago, we toyed with having different types of star parties. The 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 flats out there are great for us. We love going up there and setting up our scopes, and most of us will schlep our scopes, 300-400 feet just to get a good view of the southern horizon. But the area there at Castle Lake was very, very successful at times just because it was right there. It was right off the road. There's places to store the cars. There's time that Jim had to go out and tackle a car driving down the road, but past that, we had some very successful star parties. So maybe, split them up into hardcore folks and then like a public event where they're invited up to Castle Lake and, you know, that type of thing. That's my
Yeah.
only
Yeah,
suggestion.
that's
Otherwise,
what
you're
the
exactly
options.
right.
Yeah, but my recollection of the Castle Lake is right next to a camping area too.
Yep,
We had a lot of traffic
yep,
coming in, right through our observing field, to
yep.
get to the camping areas. So it was never appealing to me for that reason.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it was right there on the road, and there were a
Yeah.
few star parties. We had well over 20 people there.
Okay.
Oh, we had 50 on some of the first ones. They were huge.
Wow.
Let alone the one with the eclipse, but that wasn't at Castle Lake, but
That was
the
a
one
different
before that
one.
was right off the road, and that went crazy fast.
Yeah.
The the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary is really unique. Is there some way we can organize like a cleanup crew to go
Awesome.
out there and clean
Yeah.
off an area like a half an acre or
Yeah.
something and
Yeah.
make a parking
You're
area?
you're getting ahead of me, Doug.
Okay.
So,
But create a parking area for the cars and then an
yeah.
observing area, maybe even have some stone put down or something.
Yep. I like your thinking. So, again, Siskiyou County, we do have on the eastern part of the county the Lava Beds National Monument, which is designated as a dark sky preserve. But getting there, it's not easy. It's going to take you a whole day of driving just to get there, and then setting up, and essentially you have to camp out. Uh, and still, I think it's only Bortle 2 type sky because you're not quite into the black area or Black Rock area of Nevada. So, and the other thing, I notice we've got a lot of conservancy groups uh, in our area here, but their main purpose is to preserve land and resources and keep that pristine. Uh, but we don't have any of them that I could find on the websites where they actually list preserving the night sky as part of their goals, part of the missions. But we have that's changing a little bit,
So
and that's with
is Sisson Meadows just not a good enough place?
which place?
Sisson Meadows, it's just right there at the end of Castle Street.
I'm
Well, the
not.
light pollution.
There's a boardwalk, there's a big place. And I don't know how much light pollution there is, but if you
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
particularly amenable to a lot of people, though. I mean,
well,
it's a protected area, isn't it? You have to stay on the boardwalk.
there's a lot of boardwalk.
Yeah, but it's narrow. It's like two people can barely cross.
That's true. But
yeah.
there is a big flat area too before the boardwalk.
Okay, because I'm not familiar with that area. But again, it could be if you don't need dark skies, if you're just going to be observing the moon or planets, then that could be potentially an option. But
Well,
over,
maybe on a warmer night.
yeah, warmer nights that helps too. But this photograph here, this is taken of May of last year with one of the events that I attended where Barbara was
Really
giving her presentation.
sunrise.
And, you know, I don't know if it's their, because of their mailing list of the people that belong to their group, but she always gets a big turnout to the events that I've seen. A large part of it could be her infectious personality and her love or passion for telling us about the night sky and the constellations. But regardless, it's just, it's not obvious from the photograph here, but just little amenities like laying down the tarps. Something like that, I think, helped out quite a bit, and having people bring their chairs and just kind of a group talking.
Could you talk her into having one of these events at the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary?
Well, she actually went out there to one of our star parties. Yeah, I think reluctance was that it's kind of on the other side of the mountain to where they normally meet, and yeah, she was kind of kind of pondering or thinking about it. So, whether you get a big group of people like this, I don't know. We'll have to talk to her.
What? What?
So
They had a picture of the people that were there for, was that sunrise or sunset?
no, that was sunset. Just before the program started. Okay, so given that our club isn't, fully utilizing, the asset that we have there, I was thinking, why not shift our focus from a club observing site to a public awareness campaign?
Mm.
Get the word out, get it advertised, get the community aware of this great observing site that we've got, just east of McCloud. And I think, or I acknowledge up front that our club is not big enough to do this on our own. And I wouldn't attempt to do it on our own. But I would want to leverage off of other partner preservation groups, people like the Assist You Land Trust.
Yeah,
They've got
Laura.
great infrastructure. And I think there's a couple of other ones there too. And I think the advantage of that is once we get increased awareness, we might draw in potential resources to improve this site. Things that Doug was talking about a couple of minutes ago. And more importantly, if we can eventually get it listed as a dark sky international site, so that's advertised to other astronomy groups around the world, and draw in people that way.
Who owns that land?
Yes, we do. It's U.S. Forest Service.
U.S. Forest Service.
Yeah, it's our land.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was thinking about is that we would have to go to the Forest Service and be careful, because when they start knowing that you're going there, they're going to start wanting permits for this and that, and
Well, that's
it's going to get more technical. Working for them
Yeah.
for 7 years, it's best
Yeah.
not to have them on your radar.
Well, your comment was timely, Russ, because this light here on the left, we got the official Bradley Fire Restoration Area that they defined. I'm not sure what the different areas mean around there, but that's something we'd have to get input from the Forest Service.
Mm-hmm.
But one of our members, Kerry Morrow, has contacts in the Forest Service in McCloud, and he actually informally got together with them and this is what they told them. They said we could make, as long as we didn't make any permanent additions or changes, we could clean and remove debris and establish mount pads. Those are, like paver stones that we can level out without a Forest Service permit. Again, that's initial feedback, and like you, I'm kind of skeptical of the Forest Service. So I think we need to, establish a long-term plan and actually get, these agreements in writing with them. But the initial feedback was very encouraging to me. So,
well, the Nordic Center meets with them every year, and they have a long-term agreement. My son-in-law does it. He's, when they took it over, I think in 2005, around that time, and it's a 30-year something or other that they've established with them, and
okay.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be very cooperative.
Yeah, well, I think the thing we got to remember is that it's our land. It does not belong to the Forest Service. I mean, they manage it, but it's our land.
Right.
So as long as we're good tenants to the land, they should encourage anything that we want to do, especially we want to preserve the night sky and bring the night sky to our local communities.
So if you need environmental permits and need an archaeological survey, I'll do it for you.
Okay. But yeah, the initial takeaway that it was encouraging to me, at least. So if you look at the forest area around there, that clearing that you see there in red, there's just complete forest all around that. So if you took an aerial view, you just have nothing but the national forest, and then you got this clearing, which is how we adopted the name Phoenix, because it literally rose from the ashes of the fire. The sky presented itself to us. And of course, practical improvements. Again, Doug was mentioning some of these a few minutes ago. But I was thinking about, again, leveraging off the community to help us out to prepare this site. I remember the scouting programs. Eagle Scouts used to have a project that they'd be assigned. So if we could get young kids out there cleaning up areas to avoid eliminating tripping hazards and things like that, and if we can get somebody with access to some heavy equipment to actually grade some roads going back into to get us further from the main Forest Service road that leads in there right now, and gets us further to the east and away from the road traffic. Even though it's not much, you don't get much traffic, but the traffic you do get, it's dusty. That's one disadvantage of this site, is that there is a lot of dust. So, and there might be other ways that we can mitigate that in the future too. But I don't know. But I think our goal would be to make the site a safe site for people going out there at night. And and even if we're going to have bigger groups out there, maybe setting up some portable outhouses and things like that. And then this year, 2026, I think we've got a perfect opportunity that we could plan for to introduce this to the public. Because it turns out the Perseid meteor shower, which peaks in August, is going to be, the peak dates are going to be aligned with the new moon dates.
Ooh.
So we could actually get a 3 to 5 day window in there where we could have just continuous people observing the Perseids for that 3 to 5 days.
Alex, I'm sure.
And you're going to get excellent meteor viewing. As a report from Lauren, she was seeing a meteor every 20 seconds, and that wasn't one of the better meteor showers. The Perseid is one of the better meteor showers, so I think it would be a great opportunity. And here you see it, you got the 12th right there. The night of the 12th to 13th is the peak. And look at that, look at the moon from plus or minus 3 days from that. It's just going to be I think, an incredible opportunity. So we have maybe a week that we could have contingencies for weather. At least get one or two good nights in there. One of the disadvantages is that the pre-dawn hours are the best time to observe it. So you'd have to be up there, early in the morning to get the best views. But for August, I looked at the historic temperatures, and typically it's 88. The average is 88 degrees during the day and 58 degrees at night. So not terrible. I mean, it's comfortable. I think camping weather. So for the proposed event, I would like to see us organize a public outreach event for the Perseid meteor shower and introduce the public, to this big location. Have a big advertising and go to the local newspapers and other medias to really advertise this event and bring it to the forefront of some of the sites out there. And again, I'd like to form alliances with some of the other groups in the area, to make this happen. So it's too small for our club to do it on our own. But I'd like to share the workload, if we can make it happen. And as far as long term, I think we could preserve this site, for decades to come. Even though it's there's a reforestation effort going on there, it'll take a long time for the trees to regrow, and maybe we could negotiate with the Forest Service and keep maybe a 40-acre area in the middle where they don't plant the trees. It's just some thoughts. I don't know how realistic it is, because they already have their plan in place to change that. And one of the keys is we've got relative easy access from Interstate 5, and we have nearby small towns of McCloud, Mt Shasta, and Weed. They have plentiful hotels and restaurants and things to stay, so people could come from the larger cities and spend a day or two there to enjoy the meteor shower. And then hopefully we can get a lot of young people involved in recognizing the importance of preserving and protecting the night sky, and build alliances so we can keep the site maintained for the foreseeable future. And because it's a wonderful site, and it should be used by more than just stargazers or astronomy clubs. And I think the advantage of partnering will keep groups of people from burning out, and actually give us greater leverage and impact.
It would also mean more members for our group, possibly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, so this is I just want to open it up to discussions. As a club, do we want to take on something like this? Do we want to shift towards public outreach?
I think that the land trust with Laura Bradley, her energy is so great. Maybe talking with her about a joint sponsorship of the August event would be great.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be seeing her a week from uh, tonight, so maybe that'd be a good time to broach the concept to her.
I think it would
Yeah,
be.
I'm going.
Yeah. Well, we talked about Barbara, whether she liked that site when she was out there, but she had a kind of a personal experience that's, I don't know, I don't want to call it a traumatic, post-traumatic stress situation, but she hit a deer on the way home.
Oh no.
So, and I guess it did a lot of damage to her car. So she's been reluctant to return out there, because of that.
Yeah, that was when I first went out there with you, John, and we were out there a lot the first year. One thing I noticed right away is all the deer that I was seeing before you get into McCloud. There's an area where every night that I was out there, I would see deer right along the shoulder of the road. And it really freaked me out, and to the point where I go about 55 miles an hour through there because it was something I mentioned, I think, in a previous meeting to everybody, because it just I've never seen so many deer at night along a road that I have in that area.
Oh no, and I agree. I go about 45 miles an hour. Traffic gets behind me, I pull over and let them go. Just because of that. As a matter of fact, the last time I was out there, I came the closest I've ever come to hitting a black bear.
Oh wow!
And literally, I didn't see it because of the darkness. But the first time I saw it, it was in the headlights directly in front of me. But luckily, I wasn't going that fast, and he cleared my vehicle, I think, by a matter of uh, feet, if not inches. I mean, it was that close.
Wow.
So, it is a wildlife area, so that's part of the.
But that's what makes it a wonderful dark sky area. It is out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't call it wilderness, but it is forest. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been camping out there for over 35 years. So, and I worked out there for 10. So and just know, by the way, because I go out there nightly or spend the night regularly out there and I sleep in the back of the truck, there are now wolves. There are now a lot of cougar, a lot of cougar. And the bears are so prolific. I cannot run across one or two per day out there.
Wow.
So just know that. And then the elk, by the way, you think deer are bad? Wait till you have to swerve for an elk. And they're thick through there. So I'm just letting you know. I mean, listen, I've set up my scope for a long time out there, and it is my go-to. In fact, I got places that I don't tell folks about because it's quiet and non-dusty. But with that in mind, it's going to push people's comfort level if they're from the larger cities. Trust me.
Russ, are you talking about the Phoenix site?
Oh no. Dry Lake, go out further, Toad Lake, go
okay.
up to Medicine Lake, head over to Lincoln.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of real good flat places out there.
Okay, yeah.
But yes, it's all around that area.
Yeah, right. Yeah, one thing, if I could only do one thing for that area, I would go there with a shovel and I don't know how strong I'd be there's a lot of big chunks of lava laying around there. John mentioned pieces of wood. If we just cleared some of that, the debris, like John said, and we could make that site way safer to walk around, because there are so many things you can trip over that could be removed, if we wanted to put some effort into it. Just that
A,
alone, that
a,
would just be a simple.
I
a
think
bulldozer would make very short work of it.
You
Well,
would need environmental clearances for that, and I'll
yeah.
tell you that for sure.
I don't know about a bulldozer, but yeah.
But if we were, showed that we respected the land and intended to, not to harm it,
Yeah,
might
sure.
give us a permit to do so to clear 2 acres, 1 acre for parking and 1 acre for observing.
Yeah, but that would certainly be a more thorough way to do it. Yeah, I was just thinking of manual labor by some of the members. At least better than nothing,
Yeah,
They're definitely going to want you to do a CE for that, at least. So, and I'd try to piggyback on what the Forest Service has already done.
What's a CE?
It's a categorical exemption. It is an environmental document, so I can tell you now you're going to have to do archaeological surveys. We're going to have to consult the Native Americans, and we're going to have to do biological surveys because it's night work. We're probably going to have to see what the effects on the owls are. And when you say bulldozer, I mean, we could probably get out there and use our hands and move sticks, but the second that you put shovels to the ground and pull out boulders and rocks, and especially if you bring in any mechanized equipment, game over. We're into an environmental document.
Yeah.
Well, when the Forest Service, when they're in there cleaning out all the old wood, they had heavy equipment in there. They had bulldozers.
I know. That's fine. Your scope is different from their scope.
Yeah, but the area's already been disturbed, as part of the cleanup.
Okay.
So,
but John, I do this every day of my job.
No, I understand.
It's like you can say that, and I'll look at you if you come to Caltrans, and I'll just go, "You're still doing an environmental document."
Yeah, no, I've learned to be skeptical.
Would it be outside the possibility of reason to ask them to do it?
They will do it. And if we do it as a nonprofit,
yes.
I do know a way to slip it in, but now you're at their mercy as to when they could do those documents and when they could offer an exemption to us. And you're right. What I would do is go in there and try to piggyback off their documents.
Yeah.
Is what I would do. But we still have to do something.
I think leveraging off the experience of a larger group that's had years of experience dealing with the Forest Service, like a land trust. And,
yeah. No, that may work.
Yeah, because it's too much for us to do. So we're going to need help to do this. But is it something we want to try to take on? I guess that's the main question.
Okay, how about this? In fact, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jim. Did you have something to say?
No, I was just clearing my throat. Thanks.
Okay. I got an idea as a plan B, and maybe we could drive up there in lieu of this spot. Let's say, because after there's a fire, they get money to rehab, and rehab means replanting, and they replant because they clear it, and it's erosion control and yada, yada, yada. And they get money per acre to plot new trees, and we may be stepping on their toes by taking money out of the district's pocket. What if going up Pilgrim Creek Road, paved road, up to the snowmobile park, and there's a parking lot already there? I have not seen what everything looks like. What if we were to do that area, and I don't think we would need any permits at all? And there's a bathroom already there.
Yeah, but that area, I drove out there doing the initial survey I did a couple of years ago, and there's just too many trees around.
Okay. And that could be.
Yeah. This one here, we got the 400 acres or 330 acres, whatever it is, of just
it's open
clearance. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yeah, no, I see.
So I think
I used to go up to Elk Flat, just south of the snowmobile park, back before they went crazy with the roadless areas. Okay. And it was my go-to for many years, just because of that. There wasn't a tree within 15 acres of me.
Yeah, well, I think for single observers going out there, you could probably find little holes in the forest that are good, but for large gatherings, I don't think you're going to find anything better than the Phoenix Sky Sanctuary right now in our area. So, acknowledging that we're going to have to deal with the bureaucracy of the regulations. Uh,
So what I would do is, instead of approaching the recreational folks, I would not go to any of the ologists. We're just a cynical group. Um, but I would talk to the district ranger and see if you can't, because they might get more behind the group and the community. And then, let me tell you, when the word comes down from the ranger, or the zone ranger, that's the SHMU actually. When it comes down from the SHMU ranger, um, the specialist will bend.
okay.
Yeah.
Because Kerry,
Got it. That's a good one.
well, Kerry Mari, he talked to the McCloud. And I think he was talking to these people of the upper management
Mhm.
right there in the McCloud district, and they're the ones who gave a favorable opinion. But we need to, I guess, research it further and actually, not take somebody's word for it, but actually get written agreements with the Forest Service about what we want to do, uh, put our plans in writing, and negotiate whatever needs to be done uh, to do it. But I think the argument for preserving, night sky for the community to go out and stargaze, I think is a compelling one. And I think we need to, take that tack and get the leverage, get the some other important groups in Siskiyou County behind us to make this happen. Otherwise, I think we're just wasting our time.
Well, I think that we'll be able to go out there and use it anytime we want to,
Yeah,
as long as we keep it on the down low. You don't take a bulldozer out there and do stuff to it. Um, I think nobody will care as long as we don't start another fire.
yeah,
But dealing with the Forest Service, you never know which way that they're going to flop.
Yeah, I think we got to be careful not to lose what we already have. We got to tread very carefully here. I know when I was the president of the Mount Diablo Astronomy Group down in the Bay Area, we wanted to set up a public site on top of Mount Diablo, if you know where that is in the East Bay, and that's a nearly 4,000-foot mountain. With, for the Bay Area, it was about the best viewing site anywhere. And we ran into all kinds of environmental issues with the state of California Parks and Recreation. It's a state park, but we got around. It was amazing. There is now an observatory up there with a telescope that's always up there, and the reason we wanted to, originally we had raised almost a $500,000 to build a permanent site, and we ran into so many environmental issues, we finally gave up. And we found out that if you put a trailer, brought two double wide trailers and set them up there, and those are not considered permanent sites.
Exactly.
And by doing that, all of the requirements disappeared, and that is what those trailers up there today. There's a little classroom for students. There's a telescope in a separate area, and they actually have it all hooked up now, where schools can log into that website and use the telescope remotely. It's really been a great thing, and it's all because they figured out, hey, why don't we just put trailers up there, not a permanent building? So
yeah. Well, I think that's the key, and that's what Kerry reported back. As long as it's not permanent, we could put in, pads and things like that. And I think, yeah, we can get some paver stones, go out there, and maybe just set them in a little bit of concrete. That's not considered permanent. So we have a flat area for the telescopes.
Concrete sounds permanent.
Yeah.
No, just little footings that just come up.
Nay, 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 I say to thee.
Well, we'll find out. I mean, we could put it in the dirt, but then the dirt tends to move.
Yep.
Not if there's stone on top of it.
Well, we'd have the pavestone on there, but
There's lots of rocks out there. It's too bad we don't,
well,
can't separate the sand or the ash, whatever it is, from the stone, and then put the stone back where it was, but on top, and then use a roller or a vibratory roller or something to flatten it.
yeah.
That way, we're not removing anything. We're not,
Well, I
we're
think
just,
the initial star parties that we had were off, on that road that went off to the right and is raised up a little bit,
yeah,
15, 20 feet. And I decided that's not a good place for even a small group to go up there.
no,
But it's better just as you're coming in. Well, I presented it last month at our meeting, showing you an area that's just off, to the right of the road when you're coming in.
Yeah.
Relatively flat. It's still dusty. It still had a lot of, debris around there. But there's plenty of parking. You can get 20 cars in there easy facing the road. So if somebody leaves in the middle of the night, the headlights aren't projecting into the observing field when they leave. So that's a better site for our larger star parties.
Is it flat?
It's flat.
Yeah. Yeah. All around that raised area, it's all flat, and I think just trying to drive your vehicle up on that raised area, it's just not, it gets pretty crowded. Even I think when I was there last.
Well, yeah, no, I think if you're one or two people going up there to set up telescopes to do some imaging or something like that, that'd be great for up there. But for the general star party, when you're getting slightly larger groups and people coming and going, the down below on the road is better. And the other thing, when we start opening it up to the public, we have some risk there, because when you call it a star party, a lot of people, all they hear is the party. You get young people out there, bringing alcohol. Yeah. So we gotta, kind of keep that in mind too. So.
Well, with our relatively small group, but I don't know what would happen if you get a large number of people. But wouldn't it be possible, instead of putting in paving stones and everything, you could make up like wooden platforms that each person could carry up and assemble it? It would only have to be 5 feet on a side to be comfortable as a platform from a telescope.
Yeah, no,
that's certainly not permanent. You take it away when the thing is over with. If the land is level, it shouldn't be too difficult to make it level.
Well, I think putting down paver stones, set in concrete, I think I can make an argument that that's not permanent. And the advantage of that is that we'll survey it so it's exactly pointed north. So you're not trying to figure out which way is north when you set up. You just set up your tripod, on the paver stones, and you already, roughly due north, and you start observing right away, having a flat level place for your tripod.
Do the paver stones stay there when we're gone?
They should.
What if somebody steals them?
Well, you always have that risk.
And the ultimate, when you're done with it in 20 years, who's taking it away? That's one of the questions we're going to ask.
Why, we will, of course.
Of course you will, in 20 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our club will make that part of the agreement. Well, or could take the other extreme and just, well, no, I'm not going to say anything. Yeah.
All good ideas.
Yeah, I think it's an ambitious goal, but I think it's important enough, because it truly is a jewel awaiting out there for people who want to really enjoy the night sky.
One idea may be to have not a star party, but a star observing event. We don't have to call it a party, and invite the local rangers and the local Forest Service people so that they can come out and see look through the telescopes, see the nebulae. The ring nebulae that you showed us through your scope, John, was absolutely amazing. If they could look at Saturn and see the rings, see a few nebulae, they'd go, yeah, maybe.
Well, no, absolutely. That's part of the education.
Yeah.
That is exactly what we did in Yosemite National Park. If you've been to Glacier Point in Yosemite, you undoubtedly will see an astronomy area of concrete pads, electrical outlets. All of that was put in by the National Park Service. And for countless years, they have invited astronomy groups to come up, and you get free admission, and you camp out at the Glacier Point campground, and then the rangers advertise the star event to the people that are camped down in the valley, and all kinds of people came up for that. A lot of them foreign visitors, from other countries that go there. And it was a huge success, and they do it. I think they still do it every summer now, and we got them enthusiastically to cooperate. And one of the rangers himself actually gives a talk to the group, and so.
I've heard good things about that program.
So maybe getting the Forest Service, more involved, and who knows, some of them may be astronomy buffs as well. I don't know, but
or they will be when we're done with them.
Hopefully,
we'll yeah. So I think if we want to take on something like this, I think the first thing would to put together a formal proposal to the Siskiyou Land Trust, being we've identified them as a likely source partner in doing this, and see what their interest is. Because if they say no, we're not interested, then we're done. So I think that would be kind of a first step. And I'd be willing to do that here in the next couple of weeks. So I think we need to, as a club, that's why I was hoping there'd be more people at the meeting tonight. But if we agree that this is something we should try to do, then I'm willing to go ahead and go forward with the first step. So, thank you, Doug.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And if there's any problems, we'll just send them to Russ.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll scare him away for another year.
No,
I could have retired last year, and I told my supervisors I'm 2 bad days away from walking out of here.
No, I think Russ is a resource that we're going to depend on, to help us through, walk through this minefield of the Forest Service to get the approvals.
Well, you might have better luck talking to the so there's no ranger in a McCloud. The ranger's out of Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is more in tune with recreational people. In McCloud, that's where I worked for 7.5, 8 years. They are the timber beasts of Northern California. People are a problem, period. So they view any type of people out in their forest, and they call it their forest, as a potential for a problem, because you'll see something or somebody will get upset that they're doing something. So I think it would be best to go through Mount Shasta and definitely have allies like the Land Trust. And maybe ask them, if you had to do this alone, how would you do it? Because you are talking, in fact, you said once it's a larger event, you have to have porta potties and yada, yada, yada. Well, the Forest Service is no different. Once you reach a certain threshold, remember those rainbow people that came around here? I had to survey every one of their camps. after they dug trenches for their bathrooms. It was a nightmare, but you still have to do a permit for every single gathering. And that's not even environmental. I had to do the environmental on those things. So,
Okay.
but I'm here for you.
It is doable. And the trick is learning, what it takes. And Russ, you already, we're halfway there.
Well, we know about the bureaucracies, because you remember last year we wanted to go to our public park in Mount Shasta to look at the moon, and they made it so cost prohibitive we weren't able to do it.
Well, so, I'm not sure if the Forest Service even will need us to get insurance. I don't know that at all, because that wasn't my deal. My deal was just to do the environmental document on about everything recreational and timber harvest and all the other stuff. So
we've got insurance. Okay. But to go into the local park and look at the moon, $2 million insurance wasn't enough.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Plus, we had to have construction insurance and a lot of other things that didn't apply to us. So that's just to meet the local parks and recreation requirements.
Does our insurance cover any number of people? I mean, if you were at a star party with 30 people, would our insurance be?
Yeah, my understanding it is, but they do have limitations on coverage, not numbers of people, and limitations per incident.
So if somebody comes to the star party and a bear walks up and mauls them, who's responsible?
The Forest Service.
The bear.
Well, I'm just trying to think of it from a Forest Service point of view. They may take if they must be aware of the situation with the wildlife there, so they may be particularly concerned about that kind of thing. Particularly, I've never heard of cougars out there.
Yeah, well,
there have been cougars in downtown Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
Yeah. More around the lake, though, I think.
Yeah. And Mount Shasta Forest, I know they've got cougars up there.
Well, I'm talking downtown Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
In friends' backyards, the cougars have walked through.
Where I live in Weed, 3 of my neighbors have game cameras that infrared, at night, and they've all posted images of mountain lions walking through their backyard and stuff.
I can just tell you, I've been here for 35 years. I've been stalked by them. They've walked on my footprints out there. These last 5 years hunting it, the amount of cougar sign is befuddling. Just saying, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And also around our house, we've got lots of bears. Mm-hmm. I've seen one,
we do too.
Maybe 6 feet from me out my back window from my bedroom. A big one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big female.
Yeah. Yeah. So where we live, I'm happy. I like it.
I love it.
Me too.
Yeah, but one mauling or even a minor mauling, getting a newspaper would wreck it.
Yeah.
But again, it's a big open area, and they tend to stay away out of the open areas.
Yeah, we won't have a problem as a group. It's the individuals that may want to walk off or go to the bathroom at tree line or something like that. And even then, even the 2 wolves that I came across, they looked at me, they weren't scared. I looked at them and they just turned around and, well, that was one at a time, but one went, and then the second time I hit it, they saw me, looked at me, and just went the other way. So
yeah.
So a big party of people, they're not going to, leap into the middle of you and bite your leg off or anything. I really highly doubt that.
Not unless you walk into their den.
Well, we're talking about an isolated piece of property. It's a circumference with people in it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they should stay away. It's just the isolated person that wanders off to go to the bathroom or something like that. Or maybe, they get the bright idea of sleep out there, which I would, but you never know. In fact, that's a selling point. If somebody actually wanted to go camping, they could go out there and they could do camping, and then spend the night after the party. We just have to make sure they don't start a campfire too close to the observing site, just because it'll blow everybody's night vision.
Yeah, but I think for the Perseids, if they're going to be there observing in the early morning, then likely they're going to be camping, at least car camping.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
But these are, there's a lot of good ideas you guys are bringing forward. But I think we got a concurrence that it's worth taking the next step and getting in contact with the Siskiyou Land Trust and see what their thoughts are on it, whether they're willing to be a partner in this.
And would they be willing to advertise our star parties in their email list?
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, if that's the main source of Barbara's group, perhaps we could tap into that interested set of people who would perhaps be even more interested if they knew there were going to be a lot of telescopes there.
Yeah, that's true. But what I don't want to do is get into a competition with Barbara, or make it appear that we're competing with her.
Recording in progress.
But again, I'll talk with her next Tuesday when I see her, and I'll pitch the idea with her first and try to get some contacts or some introductions into the Siskiyou Land Trust to take it to the next step. So. Okay, well, it's almost 20 after. Yeah, I'd like to. If anybody has anything else, if not, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight and listening to my proposal and get an initial thumbs up, and let's see where it goes from here. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you, John.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Thank
Good
you.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, good job and good ideas, and thank you for all the background.
Oh, you're welcome, Russ, and thank you, Russ, for coming. That made my night that you showed up. I've been thinking about you.
Good to see you, Russ.
Thank you.
We missed you.
Well, thank you too. I will try to make it more. There's no change on my mom, so it could take 1 hour a day or 10 hours a day, plus all my other responsibilities. So it's still there. But I thought, you know what? I haven't even drugged my telescope outside in the last year, and I just feel off. It's the first time ever since I was 12 that I haven't went outside and looked up and done something. And I'm going to start. I found my original notes for my my astronomical league pin I started on the Constellation Hunter back in 2008. And this year, I'm going to get that pin.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good, Russ.
All right.
Okay.
Hey,
Well,
thank you.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Okay.